Assalamualaikum and good morning, Doctor. This is my members group, Ali Faris, me, myself, Nurul Nabila, Sharifah Nadira, Wetin, and Umar Adam. So our group will present about alkylation, isoparaffin, or olefin alkylation process. So before we explain more about the alkylation process, let me explain briefly where this alkylation process started. So this table shows the overall process for oil refinery. It will undergo physical and chemical process. Alkylation is under catalytic process where it uses catalyst. Alkylation process is a unification process or combustion process, which is it combine together the olefin produced from the thermal and catalytic cracking to create a product which is gasoline. So this table shows briefly how it works. The process is alkylation and it combines olefin and isoparaffin by using catalyst and to get the iso-octane, which is the alkylate. Okay, so this table shows that molecule of olefin produced from catalytic cracking are combined with isoparaffin to increase the volume of octane of gasoline, and then this olefin will react with isoparaffin in the presence of highly active catalyst to create a long branch chain paraffinic molecule called the alkylate. Alkylate is, like I said before, is iso-octane with exceptional anti-knock quality. After that, the alkylate will be separated and fractionated.
So now I will talk on the process flow diagram. First, using solid acid alkylation. So olefin feed will enter into a pretreatment, and after that it will enter into the reactor with the recycled isobutane. Reactor operates at a temperature range of 122 to 194 Fahrenheit and a pressure range of 290 to 440 psig. So at low temperature regeneration, olefin addition is stopped and H2 is added to the regenerator to achieve a low reactor concentration of dissolved hydrogen. And next, the effluent from the reactor will enter into the distillation so that the product will be separated from the isobutane. Okay. So the next process is using sulfuric acid alkylation. Olefin enter the reactor and contact sulfuric acid with a concentration of 85 to 95%. So the reactor is divided into zones and it operates at a temperature range of 40 to 50 Fahrenheit and a pressure between 10 to 15 psig. So the reactor effluent will go into a separator in which hydrocarbon is separated from the acid. So as we can see, acid will return to the reactor to recycle and return to the reactor, while the hydrocarbon will enter into a fractionation section in which it will compressize a depropanizer, a deisobutanizer, and a debutanizer, so that we will get our product separately and the isobutane will be recycled to the reactor. Finally, using hydrofluoric acid alkylation. So olefin and isobutane are dried and fed to the reactor. Reactor operates at a temperature range of 80 to 100 Fahrenheit and a pressure between 100 to 120 psig. So the reactor effluent will flow to a settler where the acid separates from hydrocarbon phase and the acid is recycled, while the hydrocarbon phase will go to the deisobutanizer. The overflow of the deisobutanizer stream, it will contain propane, isobutane, and HF, in which it will enter into the depropanizer, and the isobutane will be recycled and the propane will exit, and we can store it in the storage room. While the bottom stream or the underflow of the deisobutanizer will enter into a defluorinator, and after that it will enter into a debutanizer, in which it will separate our product from the N-butane. And that's it for the process flow diagram.
Hi Prof and friend, I'm Wei En and I'll be talking about type of reactor used in alkylation process. So first of all, the reactor will change isobutane and olefins in the presence of catalyst into high-octane gasoline component. So we have three different types of catalysts. So that means that we will have three different types of alkylation unit. First of all, we have sulfuric acid alkylation unit, hydrofluoric acid alkylation unit, and also solid acid alkylation unit. As we can see here, ExxonMobil technology, the reactor they are using are multiple CSTR in series. The catalyst is sulfuric acid, while for KSAT technology, the catalyst they are using are solid acids, and they are using multiple stage fixed bed reactor. And for Stratco technology, they are using a shell and tube heat exchanger as their reactor. And then as in this table, we can see that there's three different types of different catalysts used from the company, the industry that are available, and they are using different types of reactor as well. As we can see here from Stratco, Shell and Tube Heat Exchanger, ExxonMobil, multiple CSTR, CB&I, vertical reactor, and AccuClean using solid acid, multiple fixed bed reactors, KSAT, solid acid using multiple stage feedback reactors, and hydrofluoric acid using shell and tube heat exchanger. So we can conclude that based on different technology, they have their own reactor configuration and the catalyst used to obtain their optimum reaction. That's all from me. Thank you.
Next is our catalyst. In this alkylation process, we use sulfuric acid as our catalyst. The advantages of hydrofluoric acid is using sulfuric acid as catalyst, it will reduce the potential for acid vapor cloud to be formed upon release to the atmosphere. Hydrofluoric acid and sulfuric acid process of alkylation are the most developed and practiced technology for acid alkylation. So it's the most common use in industry besides hydrofluoric acid. So this is the equation of reaction. This is the paraffin isobutane mixed with butylene in the presence of catalyst hydrosulfuric acid, and the product is trimethylpentane and plus heat. In this reaction also there is side reaction under the product high molecular weight polymer species. This polymer species reduce the octane number and increase the endpoint of the alkylate product.
And so we now have a look at the market analysis. So in general, we know that alkylate are one of the byproduct that is mainly used in the oil refining industry. And typically, North America is the largest alkylate market on production and also consumption-wise. It's pretty difficult to actually obtain a statistical data on like the current market analysis due to like all the information being locked up in report, and you actually have to purchase report to actually see an on-ground trending in the market. What we found though is that from previous trend record, the market value seems to be increased as an overall, and it is expected to reach around 343 million in 2018. And most of the major players in this production of alkylate are DuPont, ExxonMobil, Philips, UOP, some of the high company on the list. And around in the globe, you could see that well, for Malaysia, it's a very small percentage. We don't really import alkylate so much in the country. However, you could see it very much significant for Saudi, Qatar, and Iran. I would say so because they are the main key players in the oil industry across the globe, and this is probably why we would continue to see a market trend. At least if it's not growing, it would still be consuming for the next probably at least 10 years or so. Yep, and that's it. Thank you.